Well, you could call me Mr. Tom or Mr. Murphy, but I would actually prefer, in case you forget that, maybe you might consider, just maybe, calling me Mr. Oh, that feels so good. Let's try it again. Mr. Oh, you can do better than that, Mr. Ooh. They asked me to talk to you about something that might be a little bit scary. They asked me to talk to you about this thing called bullying. But what's something someone could do to someone to bully them? What do you think?
Knock books out of their hand.
Ooh, that's a great one. He said knocks books out of their hand. That might be bullying. And what do you think? Ooh, picking on someone might be bullying. What do you think? Ooh, kicking someone might be bullying. Now, bullying is made up of 4 things, students, and I gotta teach them all to you. Okay, number 1, and I'm gonna say this one really, really quietly, so be quiet, because I'm only gonna say it one time. In order for something to be bullying, just like a lot of my friends said, it has to be mean or scaring. Ooh, you okay? Ooh, I scared myself a little bit. Hey, I don't like that shirt, and I don't like you. Ooh, did I bully him? Ooh, that's really confusing. I only did it one time. It was really mean. Did I bully him? Not yet. Educators, pay close attention. It has to happen over and over again. Now, this is a really hard one. I'm gonna need some helpers here. The person that's getting bullied has to be smaller or weaker. That's right. Now, do you think I just mean how tall? No. Do you think I just mean how big their muscles are? No. Let me tell you, educators, what small or weaker means. It means anything. See, educators, it's really easy for us to pick up those big things, right? Somebody isn't living with their parents. Someone's father's in prison. But there's a lot of things that make kids feel small or weaker. We got to pay attention to them. And last but not least, educators, this is for you. It happens on purpose. There's a lot of things that kids do that are scary and mean to other kids that aren't bullying. Now, I actually brought a real life superhero with me today. And I wanted to introduce you to him, but I hid him somewhere and I got to find him. Let's see if he's over here. Let's see. No, he's not there. Where? Huh? Oh, wait a second. Oh, hold on. No, boys and girls. This is not my superhero. This, boys and girls, is my friend Amos. Now, Amos is actually owned by my superhero, and I wanted to introduce you to my superhero and my friend, Rick. Now, Rick is really, really different. He's got no ears, and he's got no nose, and you know what else he has? A pretty awesome robot leg. That's right. And I wanted my friend Rick to talk to you about one of his heroes, and I also wanted him to talk to you about being different. Can everybody in here say hi to my friend Rick?
Raise your hand if you think I'm different. All right, quite a few hands up, a little more than half maybe. I'm here to tell you that I'm different. And I know that I'm different, but I also know that being different is actually pretty awesome. How many of you think that you are different? Raise your hand if you think you are different. All right, so not nearly as many hands this time. Now, I want you to look at the person sitting next to you. Do you look like that person? No, unless you're a twin, and that doesn't count. Every single one of us in this room, and really every single one of us in this world, is different in one way or another. And like I said, being different is awesome. But a lot of times, the person that we might see as different might also be the person that we see as being smaller or weaker. Just like Mr. Incredible said, that's sometimes the kid that we let sit by themselves, that we don't include in the games that we play, because we say, well, they're different than me, so I'm not going to include them in the things that I do. But that doesn't make any sense, because you all just admitted to me that you're different as well. Now, there was a time in my life where I really needed hope. It was a difficult time in my life, and it was right after I got out of the hospital. Now, I was in the hospital for a long time. I was in the hospital for 6 months. So half of an entire year, I lived in a hospital room, recovering. After I got out of the hospital, though, it was really difficult for me because all of a sudden I had to go out in public for the first time, and people had to see me. And that was really hard for me because it was very obvious that people were seeing me. Every single person I saw would stare at me. That wasn't the problem. The big problem came from little children, younger than any of you, like 5, 6-year-old little kids. Whenever they saw me, they weren't only staring at me, they were absolutely terrified of me. And it was very obvious that they were terrified of me because as soon as they saw me, they would hide behind their parents or they would run away. And I got to the point where I was saying to myself, like, Rick, why don't you just stay home? Like, don't go out in public anymore because you know if you go out in public, there's going to be a little kid, he's going to be afraid of you, and that's going to really frustrate you. Well, one day I went to a restaurant and I was sitting at a table and I was with my brother, and there was a table across from me, and at that table was a family. In the family, it was a little girl, 5 or 6 years old, and she just happened to be sitting facing me. So she was obviously staring at me because every kid was staring at me. Every person was staring at me. But I could also tell that she was afraid of me. Now, she was sitting right next to her grandfather, and her grandfather saw that she was staring at me. So he quietly said to her, go say hi to him. So the grandfather wanted his granddaughter to come over and say hello to me. And she didn't want to do that, obviously. She was afraid. So he said it again, go say hi to him. Now this time she started to come over to me. Now she got about halfway over to me. I didn't want her to come all the way over. I knew how uncomfortable she was. So when she got halfway over, as nicely as I could say to her, I said, hey, how you doing? But as soon as I said that first word, as soon as I said, hey, she stopped, dead in her tracks, like she saw a monster. And she turned around and she ran back to her grandpa as fast as she could. And really, I'm just like, you know what, Rick? You just have to deal with it and figure it out and get used to it because this is the way it will always be. Now that little girl, she ran back to her grandpa and she got back to him and she looked at him and she said, Grandpa, he's really nice. He's really nice. That isn't what I thought she was gonna say. I thought she was running away from me as fast as she could because she was afraid of me. I thought she was gonna get back to her grandpa and say, Grandpa, he's really scary. But nope. In that moment of hopelessness for me, when I needed hope really bad, she came over to me and she dumped that bucket of hope on me. And when she gave me all that hope, she changed my life forever. And remember, she was only 5 or 6 years old. Do you think she knew she had hope that she could give to me? No, right. Do you think she knew that I even needed hope? Probably not. She was 5 or 6. She wasn't young enough to even recognize it. But you're old enough to recognize other kids who are dealing with difficult things. I mean, you know them well enough. You pass them in the hallways. You sit in the classroom with them every day. You know when they're dealing with something tough. And you got to do something for them. You got to give them that hope that you have inside of you. And truly, that's why I'm here today, is just to let you all know what you're capable of. Let you all know what you have inside of you. That hope, the same hope that little girl gave to me. As a 25-year-old man, a 5-year-old little girl changed my life. That's pretty powerful. And again, it's the same hope that you all have inside of you. Now, I said that Amos is a superhero of mine, and that's because he helps me. He helps me do things that I might not be able to do on my own. Like, my hands don't work very good. If I drop something, Amos can actually pick things up for me, and he can hand them to me. Now, do you think Amos cares how different I am? No, Amos doesn't care how different I am, because superheroes don't care how different somebody is. They're going to help them no matter what. Now that you got to know me a little bit, and you got to know Amos, if I needed help with something, would you help me? Yes, and I believe that you would help me. Now, I want to believe that you will help the kids that sit around you as well when they need help, because that's the first step to becoming a superhero.
Good job, and that's why Rick is a hero of mine, because he taught me that I could help anyone. We know that as they get older, peers will jump into action less than 10% of the time. Most studies say they jump into action about 4% of the time and help kids when they need it the most. But there's a magic window, educators. It lasts 10 seconds. How many students? That's right. When you see someone not being treated the right way, if they can jump into action within the first 10 seconds, they can be successful over 60% of the time, educators, and they could become someone's hero. Hey, what's your name, Lily? Mr. Incredible, nice to meet you. I'm gonna pretend to be mean to you. Are you okay with that? I'm just pretending, okay? Now, Lily, you're not very good at this game. You're supposed to pretend to be sad. Now, Lily, I said there's 2 reasons kids don't jump into action. One was they don't know what to do. But the other one was they feel silly or ridiculous. Okay, so let's get that one out of the way. Vulnerability is a tough thing, educators. It's hard enough for you all educators to make yourself vulnerable. Imagine a young person and we throw them into a socially charged situation. We give them no practice and we say, go stick up for that kid that's different. That's almost an impossible thing. Why don't you try that with math sometimes, educators? Like explain to them a math problem one time and just explain it, no practice, and say, hey, I'll see you at the state test. That sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? Well, it sounds pretty crazy to me to throw a kid into a socially charged situation and never practice. Your school here is going to watch their first ever bully drill. Just like a fire drill, you practice these life-saving things. I'm going to go bully Rick the wrong way. You're going to jump into action within how many seconds? Perfect. I knew you could remember that. And you're just going to take Rick away. So you could ask him to go play a game. You could ask him to go help you find something. All right? Push. Showtime. Rick! What did I tell you about wearing that stupid pink shirt? I said the next time you did, I was gonna rip it off you, throw it in the trash, and nobody's gonna help you, Rick. Nobody. Hey, what do you want? Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Hey! Get back here! Y'all watched your first ever bully drill, probably. Lily did a great job. She owned that 10-second moments. I had to give her a little look, but I promise you, if we practice this one more time, she wouldn't even think about it. Then she came right over to Rick. I tried to bother her, annoy her. She didn't even pay attention to me. Lily did a great job taking Rick away. Give her a hand. What's your name?
Emily.
Emily, Mr. Incredible, nice to meet you. All right, now Emily, what letter do you think the next superpower begins with? Perfect, I knew you could get that. Now Emily, I'm not being mean yet. All right, now Emily, do you have any, I got a serious question. Do you have any buddies? Yeah, right, name one. Alyssa. So let me ask you a question. Alyssa's one of your buddies. Now, if you came into this room and Alyssa was sitting over there all by herself in the corner and she was crying because somebody hurt her feelings, if she's your buddy, you'll know what to do to make her feel better. So do you think Superman cares what Rick looks like? Do you think Superman cares who Rick's dad is? No. So this time, you're not gonna use the superpower A. You're just gonna wait till I walk away. You didn't get there in time, and you're gonna go over there and become Rick's, well, that starts with an F, but it's close enough. His buddy. Rick! What did I tell you about wearing those stupid black pants, Rick? I said, only weirdos wear black pants, Rick. That's not what I meant! That's not what I meant! What I meant, Rick, was you're not gonna have any friends the rest of your life. Ah! Shh, let's see what she does.
I have one leg and really good arm. I'm going outside.
Whoa, great job. Come here. All right. I need one more volunteer. I watched all the superhero movies, and sometimes the superhero has to confront the situation. That starts with the letter C. If it doesn't work, Nathan, because I saw all the movies, educators, and sometimes their superpower doesn't work, right? So if it doesn't work, you're gonna have to call another superhero for help. So that means you're gonna have to go get someone if it doesn't work, okay? All right, you wanna try this one? So you're gonna try and confront me, try and get me to stop your way with your superpower. If that doesn't work, you're gonna have to go call another superhero. What do you want? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Go get some. That's right, you see that? He's running away scared like a kitten, Rick. And he's scared of me too. You see that, Rick? He's gonna go sit down and he's gonna be a scared little kitten. You're gonna get it here, Rick. I'm gonna give it to you. What the? Can everybody give Rick and Amos one more big hand?